Good morning. In this video, I will be explaining how we access different materials for our sixth grade curriculum, as well as what we can expect for this first week in our second term. So to begin, everything basically is located in the modules. This first section are the teacher resources. This DNP means do not publish. So these would be things that you would not give to your students. The first thing we have here, and this is new, is our calendar. And I will be updating the calendar with a general outline of what you should be covering each day. Obviously, there may be some variations, but in general, we want to try to aim to be within a day or two of each other. So this has our first week and second week planned out. And then our third week is midwinter break. Woohoo! The color coding matches the color coding in the digital notebook, the student's digital notebook. So the first 3 days of class are largely kind of community builders, getting organized, setting up our digital notebook, that sort of thing. We start with our initial model and then class consensus for Thursday and Friday. The second week is about sound and hearing. And one big thing that I want to point out is that the first time that we did this unit, I did not do a good enough job of emphasizing that sound and hearing is not about understanding and being able to model the ear. That really is irrelevant for this context. What we want them to understand is that sound is vibration, and that vibration has the ability to cause a change in another surface. And in that particular instance, the surface is our eardrum. So again, we need to be emphasizing really not specifics, but just this idea of vibration and that vibration can cause change. And then right before we go into break, we're going to get into waves. All right. So I'll go back now to the modules. Here's the teacher slide deck. This gives you some things for the first couple of days of school if you want to use it. Otherwise, teachers, go ahead and please add your own personal slide decks in here. That way people can use each other's work to get ideas of what to do. This is a daily slide template for building out in Canvas the different activities. You may choose to use that or not. And then here is our Sound Unit digital notebook, and I will be making changes ongoing. So let's go ahead and look at this. All right, so I've made some changes based on how difficult it is for students to load the notebook. So I've tried to remove as many videos as possible. But at the very beginning, when you hand this out to your students, I recommend that you have them watch how to personalize their notebook cover. And once they've done that, they can delete those two things. This is a table of contents for the notebook as a whole, and it aligns with these color-coded tabs on the side. If students want, they can click on this how to, and it will take them to instructions on how to use their digital notebook. I will be having class public records of these three things. And so these link to pages that students can go to. So this would be for my students. So you would want to change your link. But basically, students will be updating those driving questions. Then there will be the summary chart and class claims, and those will have links as well. For the first section, we have how does Ben use sound to see? So I tried to add some specific details about how many observations to include and how many questions to ask. Here, we're asking students to draw their initial model, and you would ask them to click on the link to go to the instructions. To get to that, let's see, where did I put that? It's here. So you would want then to make your link go to your own Canvas page. So basically, on a piece of paper, you're going to be drawing. Things to emphasize is that we're not looking for right answers, etc. So again, you would want this right here to be a live link. So you would add that link to the instruction page. Um, there will also be a shared document that I will be asking my students to put their models into. So it will be a slide deck that has, 30 blank slides, and students are required to post a picture of their individual model into an empty slide. And then as teams, they will be going through to look at the different models and try to identify patterns and themes of what we're noticing. That then would be used for our class consensus. All right, then we're going to get into the next section, which is around hearing, but what is sound and how can we hear it? So, again, this is not on the mechanism of hearing. This is about the fact that sound is basically vibration, and that vibration is happening too quickly for us to perceive with our eyes, but we are able to perceive it with our ears. So, to learn that, they watch this video. And this is a little bit new from before. So, how does the video define sound? And then, what did you learn from the video about what is sound and what would it look like if we could see it? So, they are going to type here and then they're going to use the squiggle tool, which is this. Oops, and it looks like I need to edit that. It should say scribble. So, they're going to use this scribble tool to draw sound. And ideally, they would draw a wave. Next, we get into how do we hear sound? But again, I've changed this down here to say, instead of like, what is this about in general, to really try to focus students on understanding what sound is. So, some key ideas that we would want students to highlight would be um, that basically the eardrum, let's see, where did I find this? Oh, okay. The eardrum vibrates. So we can connect this back to the movie that we were watching. Um, and then vibrations change to signals. And again, that's kind of getting into the mechanics of it, but nonetheless, really we're emphasizing um, that sound is these vibrations. So down here, students, you would want to help encourage students to write things about how sound is a vibration that makes this specific part of the ear vibrate back and forth, which then allows this vibration to continue in a new way. We still haven't gotten into the word wave. Next, they will read this and look at this particular drawing that shows a model. And they're going to just kind of think about what does this model show if it were to be built out? And then what does this tell us about sound and hearing? Then students will be comparing eardrum models. So they're going to build two different models and they can be flexible in their thinking about, or they can be flexible in how they build their models. But we really want to encourage students to do that. If for whatever reason they don't have their materials at home, you could offer them some different options as listed here. Then they're going to insert pictures of their model and then they're going to compare and critique the models. So again, students kind of had a hard time with this in that they were really general in their comparisons. We want them to we really want to emphasize that they're comparing the similarities and differences in the way that the models show what we can't see about how sound is heard essentially. Um, so really emphasizing that. This is what our summary chart looks like, and this will be done on Thursday. So asking kids to think about what did we learn? And then over here, I'm torn on this. You can have them go back to the driving questions board, or this could change. You could change this to instead of answering our questions, this could be more, what are the big clues about Ben now? Okay. Then we get into our waves. Now, I will be trying to get this updated before I see kids on Monday, tomorrow. Um, so just so you know, that's coming. Again, this I feel like I missed the boat on this section last time because, kids just were not emphasizing or I didn't emphasize the right things. So anyway, I'm trying to be much more explicit about, uh, that this is about waves, and specifically, coming up to resonant, how do wave properties explain differences in volume and sound? So in order to answer that, we have to understand what waves are. So we're going to do an introduction to what waves are before kids go on their break. So they watch this video, read this, and then they're going to be doing some waves in action. And unfortunately, I haven't finished formatting this, but this will be done soon by tomorrow morning. But basically, kids just go and try to find, rope or string or whatever. If they have a slinky, great. The other thing I was realizing that could really model how waves travel would be like a Newton's cradle. Would be really cool. So we could also embed some videos in here too. We could embed a video of a slinky and ask them to think about how is this like a wave, and a slinky moving back and forth, showing a wave. So those will be updated. Um, okay. So then coming back to our modules, um, within the module, you have the different activities that students will be doing. These link to places. Here's the initial ideas, and um, looks like I'll be adding in your driving question boards here as well. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going to say. For the sound unit student digital notebook, this goes through page 14. You can choose to give more or less, but I'm basically giving them the first 2 weeks before break. And this will, if you hit the little right here, there's a link. As I make changes to this, specifically, I'm going to make changes to this slide. You'll see a little thing that says update, and you can hit update, and it will update your slide for you. If for some reason you get this copied over before I have done all the changes. Okay, I think that covers it. I know that was kind of a long video, but I hope you find it helpful, and please let me know if you have any questions.